Alright, hey guys, it's TJ, and welcome to another Black Ops 3 commentary. So, again, this isn't live because I'm still sick, and I'm like still in my pajamas. Both, like, my top and bottom, they're backwards. I'm not even kidding. And it's like 3:55, and I'm still in my pajamas, but that's okay. Anyway, today I'm going to be sharing a life story about the time that I got in the most trouble I've ever been in. I got grounded for like 12 weeks. So, let me set the setting for you. So, it was back in second grade. I was like, when is that, like 7? I don't know, just second grade. And, I don't know what it was, but I was a rebel back then. I was getting in tons of trouble, like, every day in second grade. Think times, which were like a big deal, because that means you got 3 warnings. You did something 3 times after them telling you not to twice, and you just did it anyway. Yeah, I got like tons of those. Like, I got one a day to where like I was getting grounded left and right because it was like, okay, don't get in trouble. And then I went and did something and got in trouble again. And I forgot what it was. It was like we had some kind of like calendar system where it was like, if I don't get any think times for 2 weeks, then I get a reward. Or maybe it was every time I get a think time, I get grounded for 2 days. I don't know, something like that. I don't even remember. Or maybe there was nothing. And I mean, I know I definitely got in trouble, but I don't know if there was any particular system or not. Anyway, that's not really important. So anyway, I was getting these like every single day, and every day my mom or my dad, whoever was picking me up from school that day, would be like, so did you get any think times? And I would either say yes or no. And if I said yes, they'd be like, oh my gosh. And because one, I mean, that's not really a big deal, but when you got them as much as I did, which is like 3 a week, just over and over and over, just getting think time after think time, then that's when they started to get mad. So it's not like I just got one and they were like,
you're grounded for 2 weeks.
And every single time I got one, it was like not anything too big. Like, it was probably, most of it was probably just like goofing around with my friends, like, or talking, because I like making jokes and making people laugh and stuff like that. So that's why I do YouTube. But I was doing it in class. I was like making jokes and stuff and goofing around. Like, one time I got a think time for like jumping on my friend's back. I mean, we didn't really think about these things. We just kind of did it. Like, one time we started throwing pencils at each other, and like, that's gonna get you a think time, but it's like, we just didn't think about that. We're like, ugh. And we started doing stuff like rubber bands and stuff, and I just got a think time all the time. Until this one day. It might have been a dark and stormy night or a bright and sunny night. I really don't know. But either way, keep in mind, this was like a long time ago. This was second grade. So obviously I can't remember all the details. All I remember is that I hated Miss Sarah, who was my teacher, and I don't know if anybody else really dislikes her. I really don't think other people dislike her. I think it was just because she gave me think time after think time after think time. So she was my least favorite teacher for a very long time. And she actually quit once my generation moved through second grade. She quit, along with every single other second grade teacher. They all quit. Not even kidding. But anyway, I'm walking with my friend, I do the daily routine. I get in the car, my mom's like, so, did you get any think times? And I'm like, no, I maybe got a warning or 2, but definitely not a think time. And I'm not even kidding, that was the exact quote. Don't ask me why I remember it, but that's exactly what I said. Maybe a warning or 2, but definitely not a think time. But it was a lie. I, actually did get a think time that day, probably for being disruptive in class. Probably, I don't remember exactly, but it was probably something along those lines. Anyway, and so we get home. I go over to Joshua's house. Joshua has been in a few of my videos, so you probably know who he is. Or not, maybe. I don't know. But I go over to his house, we're playing games, we're talking, doing random, who knows what, like, I don't really remember, but probably just playing video games or just messing around or something. Maybe even making a YouTube video for my first channel ever. Yeah, I'm really not sure, but, you know, we were doing that until this one time. You know, we were waiting, we were playing, doing stuff, and then all you hear is call from Tim's mom, and everything, I was just like, I just stopped in my tracks. We were probably playing tag or something, and I just stopped, and I was like, no, this can't be. And then you hear call from
Tim's mom.
And I just stood there, and then I was like, don't answer it, don't answer it. But then it was call from and then it stops. And it turns out Joshua's mom had answered the call. I sit there staring at him for a good minute or so, but it felt like hours, until his mom said, Tim, it's time to go home. I was just like, okay, I'm going. And I slowly crept up the stairs, awaiting my punishment as I went up back to my house. I walked out the door, walked as slowly as possible, and I walk in and my mom is just standing there, her hands on her hips, just staring at me with this mad face, and I'm like, hi. And she's like,
Why did you tell me you got a think time?
and I'm like, and then I peed a little bit out of scaredness. Well, I thought she, like, canceled the pip or something because she just left it on her desk. Because usually they, like, bring it home with you, you know, they give it to you so you can bring it home, but no. This time, she left it on her desk, and I remember sitting in class, my table was right next to her desk, and that probably wasn't an accident, and I was just staring at my pip under all of her books, and I'm like, yes, she forgot about it. And then I get home, thinking I was scotch-free. And then my mom was like,
She emailed home and said you didn't bring it.
and I'm like, well, I don't know, I thought she forgot about it, and you know, I said something like, I forgot about it, or something like that, and then it was just like, yeah, right. And then I, like, started crying and stuff like that, and she's like, you lied to me? And she was, like, saying all the stuff about how she was betrayed, probably just to make me feel bad. But then I had to, you know, I ended up, like, then I had to write a note about how it makes me feel that I lied and stuff like that. So, you know, not ideal situation. I got grounded for 2 weeks. And yeah, it was the most boring 2 weeks of my life. I couldn't play with Joshua. I couldn't play video games. All I could do was my homework and play Legos. And I ended up building a lot of Lego creations that day. Or that 2 week span. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave in the comments the most trouble you've ever been in. And yeah, I know this was a longer story, but I hope you guys, you know, stuck through it. I hope I made it interesting for you guys. If you made it to the end, comment think time in all capital letters, or just think time in some way. Anyway, yeah, bye.